The story of the Jade Emperor and the poor student. Once upon a time there was a poor student. During the day, he had to work as a hired laborer to have money to go to school. He lived a miserable life until he was 30 years old but was still poor. One day, he thought, "I heard rumors that in the East Sea there is an island where people often come to rest. We have to go there to meet him to complain because he has left us poor for too long." The next day, he packed his bags and left. The journey was truly arduous. Soon the food he brought with him ran out, so he had to stop at a roadside house to beg for food. This homeowner is a rich man. He was kind and sent a servant to prepare food for him to eat. Hearing him say he was going to see the Jade Emperor, the homeowner gave him some travel money and said, 1. By the way, please ask the Jade Emperor for a favor. I haven't done anything wrong in my whole life. So why did my husband and I only have one daughter and she was mute right from birth? He accepted and left to continue his journey. Soon, the money was gone and he had to stop at a house to ask for help. The owner also served him rice to eat. Knowing the purpose of his trip, he kindly gave him rice and said, 2. If you meet the Jade Emperor, please ask me something. I have an orange tree planted in front of my house. The branches and leaves are lush and green, but why do oranges never bear fruit? He accepted the invitation and left. He walked forever until he reached the beach. Looking out at the vast ocean, not seeing a ship, he felt depressed. Suddenly a huge turtle emerged from the water. The turtle said to him, "Climb on my back. I will take you to the island to meet. 3. By the way, please ask the Jade Emperor for me why I've been here for 1,000 years and still live as a turtle without changing." Waiting for the student to step down, the turtle suddenly parted the waves and swam away. Soon the island appeared before him. He said goodbye to the turtle and stepped onto the island. Seeing a series of mountains blocking his way, he tried to climb to the top and then sat down under a tree to wait. One morning, while waiting, he suddenly saw a bright light on the top of the mountain. Then the Jade Emperor leisurely stepped out from the light. He approached the Jade Emperor and immediately asked about the turtle's advice. After listening, the Jade Emperor said, "It must release the pearl in its mouth to be reincarnated." He continued to tell the story of the orange grower. The Jade Emperor said, "That orange does not bear fruit because under its root there is gold." So, he asked the fate of the mute girl. Nak Hoang replied, he couldn't speak because he hadn't met any Mr. Trang to open his mouth for him. Finally, he was about to ask about his own business, when Nak Hoang snapped, "How unlucky! I left Thien Din and came down here to find some peace, but I didn't expect to be disturbed by mortals." Having finished speaking, the Jade Emperor rode a cloud and flew back to heaven. The student had to sadly turn on his heel. When he reached the sea, he saw turtles waiting. While carrying him back to the mainland, the turtle asked, "How is my business?" He replied, "You have to spit out the pearl in your mouth to be reincarnated." The turtle spit out the pearl and gave it to him. It immediately turned into a beautiful goldfish swimming around. When he arrived at the orange grower's house, the owner came out to greet him and asked, "Have you asked the Jade Emperor for me?" He answered, "Yes. Under the orange tree there is gold. Dig for gold and his orange tree will bear fruit." Indeed, the homeowner took a hoe and dug up a pot of gold. He was so happy that he gave half to him. 4. After that, he continued on his way. He arrived at the capital right at the time when the king was organizing the poinsettia exam. Thanks to the precious gem he carries in his body, he becomes unusually intelligent. Having the gold, he immediately stayed to buy a tent and bed and prepare scriptures to prepare for the exam. That year, he passed the exam and ranked first in the gold table. Shortly after, Trang rode his horse back to the village. When I passed by a rich man's house, Trang did not forget his promise and stopped his horse to visit. Before Trang could tell her boss about the Jade Emperor's answer, her mute daughter came out to welcome Trang. Seeing Trang, she suddenly exclaimed. The father was so happy that he married his daughter to Trang. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.